Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. In this episode we will be looking at Barris Offee into Zeta or not to Zeta. So what is Barris's Zeta ability? Well, pretty much in a nutshell, whenever Barris or an ally gets critically hit, they're going to heal 20% of their max health, provided through swift recovery at the end of each of her turns. So this is Barris. Barris dispels all debuffs from the debuffed ally with the lowest health and gains 10% turn meter for each effect removed. Whenever an ally is critically hit, that ally recovers 20% of their max health and Barris gains 10% turn meter. Currently, this Zeta ability continues after Barris's death. This may change in the future, but for now, if Barris does die, they will continue to heal upon getting hit by crits. We all know how great the Zeta for Barris actually is, but is it the right Zeta for you? The way we're going to look at that, we're going to be looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly. As Barris's Zeta is not a leader ability, we also look into Barris herself. So let's start off with the good. On top of her Zeta, she is a healing machine. That's right, she is able to equalize any health in your party. She's able to heal on a basic where she has a 45% chance of all allies recovering 6% of her max health. Her heal special not only heals your team, but it can also add defense up. Her healing special is called Force Healer. This has a 4-turn cooldown. All allies have their current health percentages equalized. Health equalizing effects ignore healing immunity. Then each ally recovers 15% of their max health and gains defense up for 2 turns. So as you can imagine, with her Zeta ability combined with Force Heal, that is a lot of healing right there. And if that wasn't enough, she also has a great leadership ability called No One Left Behind, where it provides Jedi allies 20% max health, and other allies gain half that amount. In addition, at the start of each of their turns, Jedi allies heal for 8% of Barris Offee's max health, and other allies heal half that amount. Now, combined with her Zeta, this makes Barris Offee the champion of healers. She is the ultimate healer in this game. Barris is definitely a very dynamic character, and when I say dynamic, it's the part that, excluding her leadership, she does not provide anything else to a specific faction. So that's right, Jedi, Sith, they're not going to receive any extra than what every other character gets as long as she is not leader. She also cleanses as well. At the end of each of her turns, she cleanses a random ally, and this is including herself, whoever has the less health. There is no ability block in this game that's going to be stopping her from cleansing a random ally. And if that wasn't enough, she's also going to gain turn meter for every time an ally is critted, and they're going to gain that 20% heal of their max health. So let's summarize the good. She's an ultimate healer. She can provide defense up, she gains turn meter, she can cleanse, and on top of that, her Zeta heals upon crits. She is now viable in the arena. You can use her in the AAT raid, probably not the Rancor because it's a completely different setup for the benefits she gives, and she doesn't remove turn meter. Her Zeta ability can make good squads great. So we've gone over the good, now let's have a look at the bad. The main bad thing to Barris is her damage output. Even though she is an ultimate healer, her damage itself, excluding mods, ranges between 2,325 to 2,569, and this is on her basic. Depending how you run your squad, that damage output of losing a character may be very important to how your team is currently set up. If you currently do not have Barris at 7-star, you are going to need to farm her from the Cantina nodes with Cantina energy, or you could farm her from the dark side battles at a slower rate. But this is definitely a bad point to it, that it is another viable character from them Cantina nodes. So we've gone over the good, we've gone over the bad, now let's have a look at the ugly. Barris's Zeta ability may be short-lived. And the reason why I say that, if we go back and look at the Dodge, the Old Ben meta, and have a look what changed that. Without a shadow of a doubt, there was two characters that changed that meta. And we're going to go into the detail to B2 Super Battle Droid. He has something that's called a Relentless Barrage. We're all familiar with it, where B2 has a 40% chance to gain 100% turn meter whenever another ally is evaded or damaged by an attack. If we slightly change B2 and change him where the allies are not attacked where he gains turn meter and he is only solely for it to be evaded. This means he would have still been that bridge to change the meta from Old Ben, that Dodge meta, to the meta it is today, but the big issue being he would not be viable now. Then let's have a look at the leadership of Anakin Skywalker and what bridge he brought from the Dodge meta to the crit meta. Part of Anakin's leadership ability is whenever an ally is evaded, they gain advantage for 2 turns, so that's pretty much a guaranteed crit. These two characters were the bridge from the Old Ben meta over to the crit meta. That then brings me to Barris Offee's Zeta ability. Whereas she is good today against the current crit meta, but if the crit meta was to change, where at the moment it is definitely looking that way, her Zeta would 100% lose its usefulness. So they were the good, the bad, and the ugly, and my opinion on it is Barris worth the Zeta? Then yes, she is definitely worth it, and if you do not like crit teams, she's definitely going to be the Zeta for you, where you don't have to use critical teams, and you can then sit there and counter that with your Barris. The order that I would Zeta Barris probably wouldn't be my first. I probably personally would be going after a Qui-Gon Jinn lead or even a Darth Vader Zeta lead. Either one of them two, and great thing about it, Barris can fit into both of those teams. I have seen a lot of players ask for a nerf to Barris, and this is with her Zeta ability to not work after she's dead. Even if this was changed, she can still be as deadly as what she is now, and the way I would say that she would be deadly would be in a squad of Darth Vader Zeta, because it would make her a priority. Currently she is not, so then the attention at the moment would be on Darth Vader, but if the ability, say it was changed on Barris and you went for Barris first, then Darth Vader then is going to be able to put down all them dots, use his calling blade, and you've got Boba Fett next to him that's going to be able to use his execute. If you decided to go for Darth Vader first to stop all them dots reappearing on your characters, then what's going to happen is Barris is going to heal him up on crits and also going to be able to heal him when his health drops below 50%. Overall, Barris will always do the same job for every character, but you're going to get more benefit the more tankier the character, and this allows you now to start using health mods on your character. You may not want to be using them on Wedge or Biggs or characters with low HP, but definitely if you're now running Anakin, you can now start putting health mods instead of protection, so you're going to get that heal upon a crit. Barris works very well with a General Kenobi lead, and it is very much like a concrete wall. But once we are out of this crit meta, that team would not hold as well as it currently does. So what's your thoughts on Barris? Are you going to go with a Zeta on her? Are you not? Are you going to go for a Qui-Gon Jinn lead, then go for a Barris afterwards? What is your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. I'm currently in the works of bringing you a live show where I'm going to be doing a weekly basis of Q&A with all the questions that you've got, and I'm going to do my very best to answer them for you on a live show. If that is something that you want to be part of, then make sure that you are subscribing or checking my channel at a further date when I've got some more information on it. I have recently set up a Patreon page, so if that is something that you want to support me with, the link is in the description below. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch my video today, and I hope this Barris video has been helpful or giving you a more insight on how she works and most of all my opinion of Barris. If you have enjoyed this video today and if you could be kind enough to leave a like, I definitely would appreciate it. As always, I'm the Smithy D. May the force be with you always.